FM News Talk 97.1.
On-demand audio.
This also on DanaRadio.com. The press release came out just a little bit ago. Missouri's lieutenant governor has announced a legal action in a press conference that's taking place shortly. He joins me on the phone right now. Lieutenant Governor Peter Kinder, good afternoon to you.
Hi, thank you for having me on, Dana. You get the news first and your listeners first.
Well, we appreciate it, and we love bringing folks these fresh stories. Lieutenant Governor, I have to ask you this. There's a lot of discussion around this story that's breaking. Tell people what we know now and why this legal action.
Well, here's what we know, Dana. In the last few weeks, I don't know how many, Department of Revenue officials or employees have begun visiting local Department of Revenue fee offices where you get your driver's license and your car license renewed. And they have begun installing hardware and software, and when one of the local of a new variety and for apparently a new purpose. And one of the fee agents in the boot heel in Stoddard County asked, "What is this?" And they said, "Oh, well, this is to permit the transmittal of individual data to the Department of Homeland Security in Washington, D.C., and to a private vendor in Atlanta, Georgia." The local fee agent in Dexter in Stoddard County was sort of taken aback by that, and she discussed with an attorney in town, and the attorney, who happens to be the prosecuting attorney of Stoddard County, Russ Oliver, has done the work on this, and he and I are holding this press conference in a few minutes. And what Attorney Oliver has done this morning is to file an action in Stoddard County Circuit Court asking the judge for a declaratory judgment that this violates Missouri law to collect this data and transmit it in this fashion. There are privacy issues implicated here. There are civil liberties issues implicated here. And, Dana, there's right to carry concealed weapons information tied up here as well that will be transmitted to the feds. There is a tangle of legal and privacy issues here. But the case filed this morning in Stoddard County Circuit Court asks the judge to find, as a matter of law, that this violates Missouri law in at least two different statutes on our books, and to grant a restraining order stopping the local fee agent there in the boot heel and any who are within his judicial circuit from playing along with revenue in this process. So this is the opening salvo in a legal battle that will ensue. And we're optimistic that the law and the facts are on our side. We have a complaining citizen, Dana, who walked in, Mr. Eric Griffin, walked in and was renewing his driver's license. He happens to be a right to carry concealed weapon permit holder pursuant to the laws of our state. He is a law-abiding citizen. And when he asked a few questions about what was being done with the data and learned what I've just told your listeners, he said, "I believe my rights are being infringed, and I'm going to sign a complaint with the prosecuting attorney." So that's what set this in motion. Wow!
And so what is the extent of the data that they're taking on people, and
well,
how closely can they monitor?
You know, that's a good question, and I don't have all those answers at my fingertips as I talk to you today, Dana. I've joined this effort, and we've kind of got this going on the fly since Thursday afternoon. But all credit to Mr. Russ Oliver, the prosecuting attorney of Stoddard County, who has done the legal spade work here, researched the statutes, researched the relevant federal statute, which is the Real ID law passed back in 2005. But it's just, Dana, you know, everything in government grows kind of like crabgrass. And you've got to be out there with your defoliant and your weed killer to get after this stuff. And once again, Thomas Jefferson said the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. I'm asking your listeners to join this effort to be vigilant. We are attempting to vindicate the 10th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, that states and individuals have rights too. And And I call on our friends at the American Civil Liberties Union even to join us here. We do not want government having this kind of data that includes the right to carry, CCW permit information, your name, address, and God only knows what else, so that Janet Napolitano and the feds can keep tabs on all of us. And
this is, oh my goodness, all of the civil liberties questions that this raises. And I would love to see the ACLU get involved in something like this, because who knows? And this has never been done before. I mean, you go in to get your driver's license renewed and you are tracked from there because of the data that's transferred. Wow.
That's correct. And we want to be very careful with how that data is handed out. And apparently here, they're not only turning it over to the feds, they're turning it over to a private vendor in another state. This raises concerns about privacy, but it raises concerns about the lawful exercise of your Second Amendment rights under our concealed carry statute.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's another interesting thing too. I mean, all of that they would be able to monitor, and of course, this, here we have this story. Somewhat related, the DHS with the domestic surveillance technology that's built into these Predator drones. I mean, when you think about this, it's creepy. I mean, this is the stuff that you read about in Orwell. This is not something that you think that, you're actually going to have to file legal action on. Then
Dana, you have the stories that we get each week about the Chinese hacking. The Chinese are hacking into our most sensitive computers, probably in the Pentagon, and conducting industrial espionage against this country. There are all kinds of legitimate concerns raised here, and it was time to bring them into court and get them before a judge.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Well, this is frightening indeed. You're having the press conference here shortly. Please keep us updated, which I know you will, on all of the latest developments.
I will, and Speaker Jones, who was just on your show 2 hours ago, did a great job, is joining us at this press conference with other state representatives.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we appreciate your continual watch over Missouri citizens, and first it was fighting back with on our behalf for health care, and now it's calling attention to this, and because we had a very astute citizen who was able to sound the alarm over this, so we're grateful for that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll keep in touch and we'll watch the story. Lieutenant Governor Peter Kinder having the press conference very shortly on this. This is creepy indeed, especially when you couple this, like he said, he was talking about the Chinese hacking. I will have more on this story for you on DanaRadio.com as well. You heard it here first.